Hello, and welcome to the Stephen Tries podcast channel. Today we're going through the top 10 moments of the podcast. Yeah, there's 10. Voted for by you, and then put into an order by us.
Hello! Me, Dave, from the block.
Hello there.
Hiya.
Tom Cooney here.
Hello there, I'm Ryan.
I'm Cameron Green. You know me.
So we're going to go through the top 10 moments. Probably just a compilation of myself, I imagine. Oscar worthy. Oh, what a character that was. Let's get into the moment, shall we? I don't have anything to do with apartheid, okay? I wash my hands with it.
Love gangsters. 1920 gangsters, love all of that. I thought the apartheid, that's great. Not the apartheid. But, not the apartheid. Definitely not. I don't enjoy the apartheid.
He's one of his He just said his producer in his ear, Dave, not the apartheid. Don't mention that again.
Oh, can't say that.
Do you remember much about the Stephen Tries crime episode?
Yeah, a lot of gritty, hard crimes were involved in that one.
One time I did get caught in Sainsbury's. I was scanning a conference pear, but I was holding the top, shaving about 20p off.
If you're watching Coppers, give a fuck.
What I was meant to say is I love the prohibition. And what I actually said was I love the apartheid. And the reason is because the P, it confused me. Apartheid and prohibition.
Dave is a lovable character. It does worry me sometimes because, obviously there's people out there that probably think, I like what this Dave's got to say.
What do you think of Dave's love of apartheid?
I almost don't want to say it really. It doesn't surprise me.
He's mentioned things like that before.
I think at the time I was shocked. Didn't know he knew a word with 3 syllables. What are your thoughts on the apartheid?
Big fan, yeah.
Huge fan, got it on my wall in the room. No, I have to make it clear, I don't like apartheid.
I think it's bad.
Yeah. Hot take.
I love Ryan just because how much of a div he is, isn't he?
You've got one day left on this planet. How are you going to make it the happiest day of your life? Go.
Probably just spend it with Erin, to be honest.
Fucking weasel. You fucking scumbag.
Your family and your friends, just spend it with Erin.
Hang out with us. I'll suck your cock. Come on. There's passion in these lips.
You didn't let me finish.
Get out, Ryan.
Yeah?
Get out, Ryan.
Go on. You've made your
No, get out. I like this.
You've made your bed. Go and lie in it with your girlfriend. Joe, will you come and join us, please, for this last minute? How would you spend your last day and make it your happiest?
With Ryan's girlfriend.
Bex, how about you?
Fucking same, mate. Go on, say it. I'm banging Ryan's girlfriend. Hey! What about you, Stephen?
Max, get out. Show some respect.
Could you describe what Ryan brings to the podcast?
Great stories.
Sex. That's right. Ryan's sexy lock. For me, it's just his innocence. And the fact that everyone just shouts abuse at him and he just takes it and he just smiles on.
He's a substitute, essentially. And much like a substitute teacher, he walks in, we mock him.
Is it sunny inside?
No, it's just your forehead. That's why I'm number 1.
I mean, I'm like a target board, and the guys just love to throw insults at me. And you know what? I can take it.
What did you think of Ryan saying he'd spend his last day on earth with his girlfriend rather than everyone else on the podcast?
It's jealousy. My thought exactly was he's saying it for one reason and one reason only, to get in the good books. He's probably done something wrong.
I like to treat every day like it's Ryan's last.
One of the first times I ever met Stephen, he put antibacterial hand gel in my hair whilst playing FIFA. So I guess if it was with my girlfriend, at least I'd be getting a blowjob and not, an eggy face.
Just utter envy. A dark time.
Is there anything we can do for you?
Probably kicked Tom Looney off the podcast. That segment, I have to say, they used to play it in solitary confinement as a form of torture.
What do you think of IMAX?
It's one of the best things about movies. I don't even care for movies. I just love me some IMAX.
Tom, could you take his hat and glasses off, please?
Bloody hell are you doing, man?
What the fuck?
Wait a minute.
No.
Max!
I had my suspicions. I didn't want to say anything. I'm not
Are you joking? You come in here in that disguise, fool us all, and play something you've doctored.
Yes.
Just to drag Tom Looney's name through the mud.
Look, rivalries get views. You know, Bloods and Crips, Liverpool, Manchester, Tommy Robertson and the Gays.
It's a fun feud if you can come out on top. And very early on, I got the impression that that wasn't going to be the case. He's got some very loyal, if not, misguided followers.
IMAX used to be about reviewing great, hot, fresh, new movies. And then he opens his mouth and it's, here's the top 10 facts I found on fucking Google.
How did the rivalry affect the group dynamic?
It enhanced it, if anything. Like their friendship grew.
Tom threatened Max's life. Thank God I had my phone on me at the time to record it, because otherwise it may not have been believed.
You're killing Max Smith because he's taking the piss out of Looney again, Tom Looney, and you can't have that. So, war is on.
Befriending them makes it very easy.
Yeah.
And then we go for a walk near a cliff.
Okay.
How is your relationship now with Max?
Don't speak to him.
Classic Dave with his wording of the
Bowling champion.
Yeah, my grandma was England. Well, not world. I keep saying world.
That's like a lying game.
Sorry, straight, Dave.
England champion in the early 70s. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. Late, early.
Less is more.
Do you know he's allergic to oranges? You alright, mate?
Did she defeat Bruce Lee in the final?
We've broken Dave!
Have a sip of beer, mate. Come out of it.
Oh, God. Fucking world England.
He's crying.
The reason why I thought about it was because we'd been invited to bowling beforehand, and I spoke to my grandma the night before. So I was like, well, put two and two together, and I live in England and the world, and that's what I come out with.
How far into the story did you stop believing him?
As soon as he mentioned, he kept stumbling his words, didn't he? And you knew straight away that he was just bullshitting.
Well, I kind of consider Dave to be a bit like me in that he's very rarely the one telling the truth, so it's interesting to just hear him kind of run away with it.
I look at Dave and I think he comes from a long line of sloths, not athletes. What's the worst lie we've had on Stephen Lies?
The worst lie?
That Joe's a producer?
4 foot tapeworm.
There's been quite a few.
It turns out it was orange flavoured popcorn. So, and I'm allergic to citrus fruits. So I was eating the orange flavoured popcorn, thinking nothing of it.
Are you drinking an orange Lucozade right now?
She just looked at it.
Right next.
So far, so good.
One of my stupidest moments, I think.
Shut up, Buck.
Wow, that Gordo go good. Gordo Family now, hey.
You went to school in Spain for a year.
Yeah.
How was that?
It's difficult because obviously I didn't know anyone.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, speak their language.
Of course,
so
yeah.
it was kind of hard to make friends. So like the 3-hour break, it would just be me on my own playing on my little Game Boy.
With none of the little Spanish children
They were shouting at me and going, "Hey, Gordo, Gordo!" Which I didn't know what that meant. I thought it meant, "Oh, he's cool, he's sexy." Hey, Gordo, hey, feo, Gordo, hey, Gordo.
Did you know Max lived in Spain?
I did, yeah. I remember some stories about him living over there, and I knew people were taking the piss out of him.
I had one fight in school. It was in Spain.
And he translated Gordo, by the way. What? He was actually in England at the time and flew back.
The story was fantastic. I've got a GCSE in Spanish, so I've got that aspect. And I've also bullied Max for 6 years, so put those two together. You've got my little dream here.
This was quite early in the podcast, wasn't it? I didn't know it was a comedy one. I thought it was. I thought it was just 4 friends having a chat. As soon as that fucking happened, I realised that this podcast was just about 4 people that fucking hate each other, destroying each other's lives week by week.
What do you think the kids in class would say if they could see him now?
Help. El pido!
No, they're...
God, I don't know enough Spanish to... No!
I think Max has probably surprised quite a few people with where he's ended up.
Your thoughts on Max's wrong date story?
You got the new numbers at the end of the year. So it'd be like, 2001 to 2002. And you don't put in... I used to always put in 2001. Because like I've spent a whole year writing 2001.
Yeah.
So even though it's 2002.
That clip's going viral. It's great to see someone start a story that they know they shouldn't have started, but they just have to tell it.
I wonder how many letters are in Dave's alphabet. He's the only man I know that could open a can of alphabeti spaghetti and go, "Oh, that's new."
Dave, what's been on your mind this week?
Where did ducks go when it rains?
Oh God, I'm gonna piss myself, man. Great question.
The other one is...
Oh, well, we're not going
to address that, I always realise that, that you'd see gangs in the park, and when it rains, they'd always scurry off. It's the same with them. Wonder where they go.
Shelter, I guess. So like, in the bushes,
the ducks just sit there and take.
So that's what I saw them in the lake the other day, like protecting its eggs, and one of them fucked off, but the other one didn't care. It started raining, and usually in this part of the Keys, there's this family of ducks, and they were gone, and I was like, where are they gone? Where did ducks go when it rains? Oh my God, this is amazing. We need to know answers. Turns out they were under the bridge.
What do I think of Dave's raves? It's always over very quickly. We kind of, very quickly say, yeah, Dave, that's what this is. But I like to think he's agonised over these things for hours. Do you know what? He won't have done it. It takes him 2 minutes, doesn't it?
I love it. My favourite segment. Carries the show. It takes a special kind of mind to get to key stage 2 and think that'll do me.
I think the greatest testimony I can give to Dave is that people believe he's a character. The fact that he comes out with such ridiculous things. No, that's just David Rees, hard at work.
And I fear that before the podcast, it was his girlfriend Jenna that had to deal with all that stuff. So I feel with the podcast, we've given him an outlet, and we've given Jenna just fucking peace.
Have you ever seen ducks in the rain?
Yeah, almost certainly.
I've never seen a duck. When you're locked up in your room like me. No wildlife, no fowl, no fauna.
What's Dave thinking right now?
Fuck knows.
He's probably looking down at his penis as it deflates and going, I could go for another wank.
I saw this teddy bear with 2 pears on it, and I always thought it said perfect, but it says the perfect pear. That's been playing on my mind for a while.
Can we move on? Because I don't want to. Is that alright? Can we move on?
For the mic.
Okay, Joe wants us to try his jam. Joe's been making jam.
Why have you given me the biggest one?
Oh, good.
Oh, no!
You need it.
Why have I taken...
Oh, come on. Joe's worked hard on this.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joe.
Delicious jam.
Thank you.
Strawberries.
So where did you source the strawberries
Fresh
from?
strawberries are from my local fruit cellar.
From your local
In
fruit
Edgeley.
seller in Edgeley. So this is a man...
Get closer of the fucking massive hair in there.
What? He's not. Oh.
Oh! I didn't realise it was that big! No!
That's not. Who says that?
Oh!
That's a fucking view!
How is it, Tom?
He's molting.
He's just shedding hair everywhere.
The stress.
It's hasn't gone how I wanted it to.
What were your first impressions of Joe?
So I've known Joe for quite some time because Joe is a good friend of one of my younger brothers. So it's been fun to get to know him better, and it's all the more surprising when he can't do basic things like turn the sound on and stuff.
When I first met Joe, I was filming something for his channel, and he had a whole crew with him. The filming was immaculate, the sound was perfect. I thought, Joe knows what he's doing. Lo and behold, everyone else knew what they were doing. Joe was just there asking questions. What do you make of the evolution of Joe on the podcast?
Joe's come so far. Since we started, he didn't have Wing It. Or he did, I don't really know much.
He spent the first 5 months of the podcast neglecting to tell us we were saying his name wrong.
The Halloween episode is when I realised that Joe is just a human like the rest of us. At that time I was editing the clips and there was a massive chunk missing. You know, I thought I was the fucking issue. And in the background you can see Joe.
Got the power Joe has.
But it's not now, yeah?
Realising that he didn't even press record.
Fuck's sake. Move. Buck, move out the way. I'll put you in a timeout. Hey, right, timeout.
So Max is going to come back in as a character and we're just not going to speak to him.
Did you have to do
watch
music?
this.
I did music up until year 9.
Because we had to do it for year 9.
Yeah. I was in the samba band in year 6. I was in the samba band.
What? Obviously something's happened.
Well, that last segment's just going to be us talking. You just talking.
Oh, you're kidding. Oh, that's such a dick move.
The context.
Such a dick move. What's even the point? Telling me to do all that shit and then just... Oh, man. I'm not happy about that. I thought what the fuck was going on.
Why didn't you speak to Toucan?
Funny, isn't it?
We did agree when Max was out of the room that it would be funny, especially because he was coming wearing a wig, you know, all pepped up with a couple of tins that we just wouldn't even acknowledge the fact that he was there. Which obviously, you know, Max, I'm more than happy to do that.
There's a few theories about why I didn't speak to Toucan McCann. The first would be that it'd make funny content.
He wasn't shagging kids, was he? Was he shagging kids?
What are your school trips like?
Well, we go to Amsterdam. I take them down red light district and I say, look at these women. You're not getting any of them. You're coming back to hotel with me and I'm going to suck you all off.
What's your favourite guest appearance we've had on the show?
I really, really enjoyed Jerry Christmas. I think he got that was a proper richly drawn cat.
Oscar Worthy, Beyonce, Jeremy Pont's bump was a laugh a minute. Thought she was very controversial, so we had to cut that right down.
I'm thinking of the jewellery dealer one that turned up and told us that all our stuff was shit.
And you've probably realised since then that most of the characters sound the same because there's no point putting bloody effort into it because I'll come up with something amazing and it's like, oh, let's ignore Gimpy Mike. Great character coming out next year.
My one moment in the top 10 of the Stephen Tries podcast.
And they noticed something was missing from the something had fallen off.
Was it the R in his name?
Oh my god, are you okay? Fuck me, man. Oh. I didn't even see it. Oh, something caught that.
Are we alright? We're good?
Yes, Neil Armstrong.
Yeah.
Armstrong. What a mess up that was, guys.
Boom, straight through. It's like a magic trick. Here he is, and now he's not.
You fell, and then the table sort of flipped up like that. And in that split second for me, it was like this roller coaster of, you know, of movement, which I'm not used to.
Is that all I brought, is it, to the broken table?
Yeah, things don't normally happen to you, so it was quite fun.
It's classic, isn't it? Jeez, I'm surprised it doesn't happen every week. I've seen you walking about. I've seen you cutting about town. You look like you're on fucking roller skates.
Who'd you blame for it happening?
Joe.
I blame Joe McGrath.
Probably Joe McGrath.
It's Joe McGrath, isn't it? Yeah.
He scouted this room. Oh, it looks perfect. Yeah. Does the furniture fall to pieces when I lean on it? What do you make of Stephen naming the podcast after himself and his only inclusion in the top 10 moments is him falling to a table?
We know Stephen's a narcissist, so
It's sad to think if you hadn't fallen through a table, You might not have appeared on it.
The amount of quips I've made, you know, the amount of quotable things like "Shut up, Joe." Yeah, that's classic.
Very, very sad, but not surprised.
I'm in one school, probably been there for a few weeks, and I got these invites for Pirate Pete's. Everyone's having a good time. I give all the leaflets out. Please come. I see someone throwing in a bin. And then I get there, well excited, yeah. Mum's bought the buffet, and then one person turns up.
You were chuffed with that when you got a whole buffet.
Exactly, yeah.
Pirate Pete was my number one moment. I think, you know, it was just peak podcast content. The vision of little Max in his striped jumper. Just playing in the ball pool, waiting to jump out. It's not how a surprise party works, man.
Yeah, hilarious because it's Max. But if it happened to me, it'd have fucking broken me.
You know, Max comes on the podcast moaning, whinging, "No one came to my party." It's sad for him, you know what I mean? But the kid's dying.
They tried to make it better by saying, "Oh, you don't think your friends turned up earlier, but we threw them off the plank." "Oh, the Somalian pirates have rounded them up. They're holding him hostage, boy."
If you knew Max as a kid, would you turn up?
My mum used to tell me don't hang around with the bigger boys. I'd say, but you do, Mum.
I'd have made him all excited as well, going, "Oh yeah, this party's going to be sick, I'll definitely be there. I'll even bring some of my other mates, banging massive, yeah." And then arrive, he's like, "Oh my God, how was your shit party?"
Does it still affect you?
I don't invite people to things just because what if no one turns up?
You can tell that, that it's passed weight heavily on him.
What did you think when the actual Pirate Pete turned up?
Unfortunately, I was out the room looking for Joe's P45.
Obviously, this is someone who's works in close vicinity with children.
At Pirate Pete's, we have so many treats. We have the ball pit, or the ball your eyes out pit, as you call it.
Yeah,
hey, little bitch crying.
You don't take any prisoners, do you, Pirate?
No, we don't. Not enough room in the boat.
I think maybe that's the reason people didn't turn up.
Yeah, he's a creepy motherfucker.
I mean, it's just another character ripping into Max, and I thought it was quite funny.
Well, there we have it, guys. The top 10 moments of the podcast so far. We will be back, hopefully in February, if this lockdown buggers off, or if Joe does. Either way, thank you very much for watching and supporting the podcast. Thank you for voting on your favourite moments, and I'll see you soon. Ciao.